All right, so everybody really likes to just see footage of catching big bass, but I want to break down to you exactly what goes into finding them or being the first one to find them. And so what we're doing is we're spot checking. We're basically going from spot to spot, all these little pull-offs, all these little cuts. We're using a combination of Navionics and Google Earth and going and looking at how the sun's hitting the spot, what the prevailing winds were doing yesterday and how it may have positioned fish in that particular spot, what kind of bait fish activity that we can use, and in a lot of cases, even jump in and do a probe paddle. I've made the parallel before where kayak fishing is a lot like bow hunting in that you can't just make 100, or even 200, 300, 400 yard shot. You have to get it more dialed in. So when we make decisions about where we're gonna fish as kayak anglers, there's a lot more variables we have to take into account so that we narrow it down to a much smaller area. For me, that's actually the exciting part. For me, that's the challenging part and the rewarding part when you dial it in and you do find the fish, is that you put all your skills to work, your map reading, your knowledge base of where the fish should be, how the fish should be acting and responding, and then you put that game plan into action. But then you had to get out there and find the places where you could launch, find the places where you can get in that's going to save you paddling distance, it's going to give you more time to fish, and it's going to provide you access to places that are going to give you some protection from the wind, that are going to give you, isolated waters to fish, where you don't have a lot of competition. And so, this is the part that we don't normally show, but we need to, because this is kayak fishing. This is the hunt, hunting for fish. This is to me, this is the part that makes this lifestyle. It's the part that's the most exciting. It's the pulling over on the side of the road and maybe making a few casts, or seeing a swirl on the other side and dragging the kayak in the water and catching a fish in a place that nobody would have ever considered catching a fish, but more importantly, catching a giant, a monster bass in a place that you worked your butt off to figure out, and you spent that time on the water and you theorized about where the fish would be. It's fascinating sometimes, and it's frustrating and maddening other times, but as a collective sum of everything that we do, this is the part that I love. It's the hunting, the exploring, the adventure, the paddling and looking into places. I mean, sometimes they turn out to be duds. Sometimes we paddle 1.5 miles and find a mud hole where there should have been a pond or a lake, or sometimes we drag through the woods and we're sweating our butts off, and when we get there, it's a dried up pond with horseflies sitting on the water. But that's the part that's exciting. That's the part that's rewarding. That's the part that's, that's why I do it.